In this lesson, we will explore ideas about real-world problem-solving and innovation. We will start with a short video as we begin to examine what we mean by the terms real-world problem-solving and innovation. From finding a cure for Ebola and cancer, to addressing global climate change, or to ensuring that we have sufficient water, food and energy for the planet, the world faces more complex and challenging problems than ever before. Solutions to these problems are not found in textbooks or multiple choice tests. Instead, society requires problem solvers who can tackle such hard problems in creative and innovative ways, and who can do so as part of a multidisciplinary team. The 21st century has already brought unimaginable changes to the world of work. In our global, knowledge-based economy, the need for knowledge workers to create new products and services that solve real problems and meet the needs of clients is a major driving force for economic growth and work in the 21st century. In our global, knowledge-based economy, employers actively seek workers who are adept at generating and testing creative ideas in order to solve complex problems. According to employers, the most important skills in new recruits include teamwork, problem solving and innovative thinking. The world now has a truly global financial and economic ecosystem. But since our interlinked economies depend on both natural and human resources from around the globe, we must continually find new ways to preserve our natural world while building more harmonious, culturally rich and creative societies. One of the key roles of education is to prepare people to effectively engage with these real-world challenges, problems and questions. We as teachers need to design learning activities that will allow our students to develop the skills they will require to engage in problem solving and to become innovative thinkers. The key here is to design a learning scenario with a defined challenge in a real-world context, which requires students to innovate by implementing their solutions, designs or ideas to audiences outside the classroom. For example, students could be asked to engage with a real problem that exists in their community. In my locality, which is a busy city centre location, there's a problem with children accessing primary school safely. Children are coming from many locations, some by car, bike and many walking. There are two entrances to the school, and both have busy junctions and streets to navigate to get there. There is a traffic warden at only one of the entrances to help with people crossing the road to the school. The children themselves have identified this as a problem and would like to get a traffic warden at both entrances to help them safely cross the road. But to do this, they will need to convince the City Council that there is a real need for this expense. In this scenario, students are presented with a real-world problem which has not been resolved as of yet. They are situated within a specific explicit context, and they must use real-world data to solve the problem. In working to find a solution, students are creating, adapting, evaluating and applying ideas. Most importantly, they are also completing this work for a specific plausible audience. In this way, students are learning what it feels like for actual stakeholders beyond the classroom to hold them accountable for their work. Finally, this problem provided the students with an opportunity for innovation. Innovation requires putting students' ideas or solutions into practice in the real world, or communicating their ideas to someone outside the classroom who can implement them. Having viewed the video, jot down a few points of what comes to mind when you think about problem solving. Is what you saw or heard in the video about problem solving consistent with your own ideas? Now carry out a search online for problem solving. What did you find? Did you learn anything new? Is there something that you hadn't thought of before? The big challenge for us as educators is, how can we provide opportunities for our students to problem solve and engage in innovation in the classroom? These are the issues we need to tease out as part of this course, so that we can develop a shared understanding and a common language to use when describing what real-world problem solving and innovation is, and what skills are required in order to problem solve and innovate. In today's workplace, problem-solving tasks abound. Whether the need is to find new ways to reach global markets or to redesign a product to take advantage of new materials, Successful workers must be adept at generating and testing creative ideas in order to solve a problem with real-world requirements and constraints. So what skills do you think are required to problem solve and innovate? Take a moment and think about what skills people use to solve problems. Now think about your classroom. Do your students get an opportunity to develop and use these problem-solving skills? Can you think of some learning activities that would help students develop the skills necessary to solve real-world problems? We would encourage you to join the discussion area where you can share your views about what skills people need to solve problems, as well as sharing your ideas about learning activities that would help students develop the skills necessary to solve real-world problems. We need to examine in greater depth what problem-solving and innovation looks like and what skills are required so that you can plan for the development of these skills. In doing so, we will develop a shared understanding and common language to describe problem-solving and innovation. If we know what we mean by problem-solving and innovation and what skills are required, we can then plan for the development of these skills. By understanding real-world problem-solving and innovation and what we mean by it, we can then design learning activities that target the development of the skills necessary to solve real-world problems and to innovate. In the next lesson, to help us design learning activities that target the development of these skills in students, we will examine the big ideas in real-world problem-solving and innovation.